Hey, it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on a viewer question that we got in, and that is really about finding yourself, kind of separating yourself from an abusive person in abusive surroundings. Perhaps it's a family, perhaps it's a spouse, perhaps it's a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or somebody at work. I know we have a lot of viewers who have also encountered these types of people at the workplace, and they're very much a hindrance. You can't do your job, you can't focus, you can't feel happy, you can't feel productive, your morale goes down, and your life becomes miserable because you are around this individual. It's a constant triggering, it's a constant feeling of look over there, look over there, look over there, and it becomes very much of an adrenal fatigue, and you really can't operate at your best. You can't operate on all cylinders, so to speak. You can't just be yourself. You can't be free. You're constantly having to live out of a reactory fear, and then the stress hormones as it ends up really relating to this individual and their abuse. And it can become what we call an emotional abuse or a psychological abuse, where things that they say under their breath, things that are insinuated, things that are projected, things that are sort of just created through the way that they use their body language, sort of feelings that, people call it a tension in the air. And this can become very uncomfortable, and people are oftentimes finding themselves in the midst of it. Or even worse yet, people carry this experience on even well after the experience has been encountered. It could have been encountered a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, and they're just sort of carrying with them this sort of, chronic anxiety or chronic fear that surrounds this emotionally abusive person, and how they're trying to derail them, undercut them, undermine them, or really sort of emotionally manipulate in a very negative way. And it can become toxic if it's ongoing. So it's very important to separate yourself from that and get into a mindful space and sort of clear out that negative influence and really just see it for what it is. We talk about how important it is to assign language to your experience and not just have your emotions run away with you, your negative feelings run away with you, your ruminations take control. Because ruminations can take hold. It's very much like a bad habit. It just keeps going and going and going until you begin to put an end to it and allow your body to unmemorize this ruminating feeling that then becomes, a negative cycle with your thoughts. So, the emotions generally precede the vocalization, and then the vocalization then reaffirms or rememorizes that feeling into your body, and then you just have this feeling of being unhappy, of being slighted, of being undercut, or just not being able to be free. So the solution is to clear the slate, clear the program, clear the environment, get clear in a way from this individual who is a negative influence. It is what it is. As hard as that might be to say, do, or decide, it is a negative influence for you. There's a personality conflict. There is a tension consciousness. And the number one goal for you is to clear and get clear and give yourself that clearing, a good, strong clearing within your body, mind, and spirit, that you have certain needs, desires, wants, goals, visions, and objectives that you want and need and will accomplish. Despite this person, despite, their attempts, their tries to get you to respond, look, give them attention, give them negative attention. It's the drama queen, the drama king, the narcissistic, psychopathic individual who always has to make the grand entrance, trying to disrupt you, break you down, take you off of focus, off of your game, off of what you are doing. And oftentimes, this can occur beyond, before people kind of knew what was happening. So they quote unquote got sucked in, or they become, kind of reactory in a reactory fashion or reactory manner to them. And so it's kind of like the old puppet strings where they are at the wood and you are underneath the strings. So, first of all is to realize that this is this person's attempt, and to see it, you have to get in an objective state, a neutral state, and come to neutral, basically meaning just see it for what it is right now, because right now you're focusing on this video and you're trying to understand, cope with, and make sense of the situation. And then furthermore, what can you do? What is the solution? It's very much like taking a step outside for a moment and beginning to look at it from a higher perspective, a higher road. A metacognition, which is your ability as a human to think about what you're thinking about or think about what occurred and then make assessments, determinations, choices, and solutions for your life moving forward. To kind of pre-program those moving forward if you have to encounter this, or you might encounter these types of people again moving in the future. So how to get out of that funk, how to get out of that chronic kind of ruminating experience. Well, realize it for what it is and just put a label on it, put a certain meaning assigned to it, and just say, even though I don't want this to be so, this is a negative influence in my life. And see it for what it is. And also with the verbiage, even though I don't want it to be so, even though I would like for this, in other words, even though I would like this to be harmonious, I would like this to be in our best interest, this is not so. This is a negative influence. Even though I don't want it to be so, this is a negative influence, and I'm putting an end to it now. And if you put an end to it, you are the one to give closure. You are the one to give meaning to the relationship. The narcissist, the controlling person, the psychopath, that is their goal. They love to control and put all the meaning onto the relationship, i.e., meaning of who you are as a person. You're so dumb, you're so slow. You work too hard, you work too fast. I don't like you. All that sort of projected meaning that they're trying to assign to you, that is their assignment. It is not yours. That is the meaning that they're trying to use to negate your positivity. Because remember, the narcissist wants to negate your positivity. They don't want you to smile. They don't want you to talk. They don't want you to laugh. They don't want you to joke. They don't want you to be in your happy space because it could take power and attention away from them. It makes them look bad. Remember, the narcissist will shine brighter, not only by what they do, but by undercutting others. So, in other words, there's two different ways to shine. You can either shine from the positive things that you do, say, and become, or you can shine by putting out the lights of others. You can put out the goodness of others. So if you can ground them down, extinguish their light, extinguish their happiness, extinguish their contribution, make them smaller, grind them down to their dust, and then they blow you away. That's how they shine, because look, they're all that's left. So realize that is, if that's what they're doing, just come to the understanding that that is a negative person, that is a negative influence, even though I don't want it to be so. That is what it is, and I'm putting an end to it now. When you put an end to it, you are basically giving yourself an image in your mind that you are no longer reacting to them. So you have to have an image in your mind first, using your imaginative, faculties. I am not reacting to them. I'm not picking up the phone. I'm not responding to the email. I'm not looking over there. I'm not, getting stressed out physically. I'm not raising my blood pressure. I'm not starting to stress eat. I'm not starting to stress drink. I'm not stress spending. I'm not using verbalizations. Look at that person, look at that person, look at that person. I'm not backing it up with the vocalizations, the word, the internal dialogue. I am in possession and I have dominion over the cells in my body and what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing. And I'm coming at a place of peace and neutrality, and I'm focusing on what I need to do. And if I'm being sabotaged, if I'm being undercut by this person, and it's a real issue, then maybe I need to leave or go no contact. Because this person will persist. Just like the sun will rise, this person will persist. You can see it before it occurs. So even though you might have hope, desire, wishes that it could be different, and then you start to then, get a little bit of positivity and say, oh, maybe we all can get along. Have expectation that not is going to be so, and that your life is carrying on regardless. So begin to have expectation that there is going to be this rage, this negative comment, this negative this and that. And then furthermore, realize that is what they're going to persist in, and that furthermore, you need and will have your life carry on regardless of the meaning that they are assigning to you, the drama, whatever it is in your life. So begin to not only understand it from a clear perspective by getting them out of your aura, excuse me, my back, begin to realize that if you can have an expectation that they are going to lash out, say negative things, begin to build more and more of that anger, which then leads to resentment, which then leads to hatred, which then leads to unattractive behaviors, lack of social graces, realize that this person is going to continue. So if you can see in the future that this is going to be so, then look into your future and then say, how would I ideally like to behave? And get an image of that right now. Are you sitting calmly? Are you looking out the window? Are you Googling things? Are you on your computer? Are you connecting with your friends? Are you at peace? Are you connecting with the people who you love in the way that you want to connect? Are you keeping your priorities straight? You need to have your imagination to lead to this manifestation. You need to look ahead, use your prefrontal cortex, that ability within you to make choices, selections, and determination of your future. You can only get there and make those choices if you're not constantly in a fear-based, pressure-based situation. You need to be able to use that and then practice that and call upon that image of yourself again and again and again, so it can become a more stable part of your personality and you can make choices. If you're being scapegoated, if you're being sabotaged, then you have no business being in that relationship. You have no business being around that person. This is not a friend. It is not a good boss. It's not a positive. It's not where your life is meant to be. You need to make an exit road decisions to get yourself out. Because just again, as the sun is going to shine, this person is going to persist. You can't try harder, do whatever it is, satisfy them to get them to change, because they are going to be very rigid. You need to be the resilient one. You're going to need to be the one that is flexible and make decisions and make alterations in your life that don't involve this person sabotaging, belittling you and making you small. You need to make decisions and get out away from that person so you can carry on your life, brush yourself off, dust yourself off, shake it off, and then proceed and do that with a smile and knowing that you've done the right thing in your heart of hearts. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.